All right, now we're going to talk about polynomial division. Here, you see a lot of symbols, and it can look confusing, but here's basically what this is trying to say. If you take any polynomial function, so anything that's more than one term, and you divide it by another function, this could be one term, it could be multiple, you're going to end up with a quotient. That's what the Q stands for, some quotient. If there's a remainder, that's, if you remember in the previous slide, I had that 0 was for the remainder. If you do have a remainder, you put it over the what you were dividing by, the divisor there. So that's what those letters stand for. Okay, so another way of writing it is that if you took that polynomial and you divide it, that divider times the quotient plus the remainder would give you the original. If your remainder is 0, then you don't have to include that part on there. So there's some other methods we can use of dividing, but I'll just do one more long division. So we write out our terms, and I'll make sure nothing skips. So I have 6x cubed minus 5x squared. When I say nothing skipped, I mean no powers. Okay, plus 9x plus 6. So there's no powers missing. And I'm going to divide all this by 2x minus 1. So again, I ask myself, what times this gives me that? And it's going to be 3x squared. If I multiply by 3x squared, I get 6x cubed there, and this will be minus 3x squared. Now remember, you always switch signs when you divide. You sign switch. So now I have a positive and a negative. Those cancel, and this becomes negative 2x squared, and I pull down the 9x. Now I multiply the next. What times this? Give me that. And it looks to me that I need to multiply by negative x. If I multiply by negative x, I get negative 2x squared plus 1x. Now remember, we always switch signs. We never leave the signs the same. So these switch, and that switches. That goes away, and now we're left with 8x plus 6. Now finally, get to the last term. It looks like we need to divide there by positive 4. So when I put up, let me get my colors in line, I'm sorry. By positive 4. So when I multiply that, I get 8x here minus 4. Now remember, we always switch the signs. So this switches and that switches. That goes away, and I'm left with 10 here. That's my remainder. Now this is not a factor because it has a remainder. So before we had a factor, so we would say that our answer, the quotient, would be 3x squared minus x plus 4, and then you'd have your remainder over what you divided by, 2x minus 1. This would be how you divide when you don't get, when it's not a factor, how you write the remainder. You just put it over what you divided by.